FM will not only give you news at the speed of nanosecond, but will also break it down with up-to-date analysis, informed opinions, and distinct professionalism. That's why you love us. At about 88.9 FM, your go-to station.
It's 12 o'clock. Good afternoon, I'm Michael Akintunde with Global News. In the news, Inec extends deadline for PVC collection. Sudan and South set up joint border force. Messi top FIFA Best Awards 2022 nominee list.
This is the news.
The Independent National Electoral Commission Inec has fixed Sunday the 29th as deadline for the collection of permanent voter cards (PVCs). Earlier, the electoral umpire fixed Sunday 22nd January 2023 as the collection deadline. But following a meeting on Thursday, INEC said it has pushed the deadline by 8 days. In a statement, INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye says the Commission is determined to ensure that registered voters have ample opportunity to collect their PVCs ahead of the forthcoming election. The Constitutional Court in Benin has declared that pro-government parties won a majority of seats in Sunday's parliamentary election. Allies of President Patrice Talon secured 81 seats, while the main opposition party, the Democrats, won 28 seats. It is the first time in 4 years that the opposition will be represented in parliament. Earlier, the Democrats' party leader, Eric Adentete, announced the result, saying the poll was rigged, though without providing evidence. And 8 high school students who were expelled for insulting Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo in a viral video have apologized and asked to be allowed back to school. The students were suspended before being expelled on Thursday by the Ghana Education Service. GES described the students' action as very undesirable, but an opposition member of parliament said the decision was harsh and retrogressive and improved the president and implored the president to intervene. Sudanese military ruler Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and South Sudan's president Salva Kiir has agreed to set up a joint force to secure their two countries' border. The agreement was announced following talks between the two leaders in South Sudan's capital, Juba, on Thursday. The two countries' defense and foreign ministers also attended the talks. General Burhan and Mr. Kiir also discussed the disputed Abyei region, calling for regular joint meetings to resolve the dispute over the territory. Mr. Kiir also briefed Burhan on the implementation of the 2018 South Sudan Peace Agreement, of which Sudan is one of the main guarantors. You're listening to Global News on 88.9 FM Akure, transmitting from Ilaramokin. After the break, Lionel Messi top FIFA Best Awards 2022 nominee list. Stay with us, we shall return.
The news on Adaba 88.9 FM.
Glad to know you're still there for news updates and live streaming. Visit our website www.adaba889.fm or download Adaba FM app on Google Play Store. You can be part of us on our social media platforms www.facebook.com on Facebook at Adaba889FM, on Instagram and Adaba FM TV on YouTube. You can provide us information via email newsroom@adaba889.fm. Ethiopia's defense forces say members of the Amara Special Forces have started withdrawing from the Tigerian city of Shere and its environments. The group are allies with the federal government during the 2-year civil war against fighters from Tigray. This comes as Tigerian fighters earlier in the week began handing over their weapons in line with the peace agreement signed in November in Pretoria to end the brutal war. Tigerian forces have been demanding the withdrawal of forces from Amara and neighboring Eritrea from the region, but there is still no indication if Eritrean troops will follow. However, the disputed land in Western Tigray, claimed by both regions and currently under Amara forces, is expected to continue to be a destabilizing factor. While the French and German foreign ministers say there can be no reconciliation in Ethiopia without justice, they were speaking in Addis Ababa after meeting Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to discuss the progress of November's peace deal between the federal government and Tigerian rebels. The ministers called for the establishment of a transitional justice mechanism to push for punishment against those involved in murder and other crimes. The minister said they hope to visit parts of Ethiopia in the future where the question of accountability played a big role. Ethiopia's foreign minister, Demeke Mokonene, said that the government would ensure crimes do not go unpunished. He told journalists that Ethiopia had asked the UN Human Rights Office and the government-appointed Rights Commission to deploy monitors in war-affected areas. The president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, has held talks with his Kenyan counterpart, William Ruto. In a tweet, the Ukrainian president said they discussed food security and the Grain from Ukraine initiative, a humanitarian program to get Ukrainian grain to countries with acute food shortages. Mr. Zelensky said they also spoke about the creation of grain hubs in Africa and agreed that will enhance cooperation between the two countries. The Ukrainian president also thanked Kenya for its support and constructive cooperation in the UN amid the war in the country that began after the Russian invasion in February last year. The Kenyan presidency has not issued any statement regarding the Thursday talks. Kenya made its opposition to the Russian invasion in a speech at the UN Security Council soon after the war began. An England trio, Leah Williamson, Beth Mead and Kara Walsh, have joined Argentina's World Cup winning captain Lionel Messi as nominees for the 2022 FIFA Best Awards. Borussia Dortmund England midfielder Jude Bellingham is also named on the men's shortlist with Real Madrid Pierre-Luka Modric and Karim Benzema. Chelsea Sam Kerr and Jesse Fleming are nominated for the women's award, as is last year's winner Alexia Putellas. Also, Serena Wigman, Emma Hayes and Pep Guardiola are up for Best Coach. Arsenal forward Maid's nomination comes in the year in which she was named Player of the Tournament at Euro 2022, shortlisted for the Ballon d'Or and won BBC Sports Personality of the Year. Liones's manager Wigman, who led the team to their first major tournament trophy at Euro 2022, is joined on the women's coach list by Canada's English-born manager Beverly Priestman, as well as Chelsea's Ayes. To end Global News, a recap of our top stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission Inec has fixed Sunday the 29th as deadline for the collection of permanent voter cards (PVCs). Sudanese military ruler Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and South Sudan's President Salva Kiir have agreed to set up a joint force to secure their two countries' border. Argentina's World Cup winning captain Lionel Messi is a top nominee for the 2022 FIFA Best Player Awards. And that's Global News, edited by Patience EB. I'm Michael Akintunde. Good afternoon.
The world moves at a fast pace, and news breaks with the same speed.
Sometimes you find the news, and sometimes the news finds you.
All